Don't worry about this. I only shoot trespassers and thieves. They get me madder than a cow having a calf with horns. My story began in 1881. My parents, John and Anna Hamas, they had a farm not too far from here over in Bellevue, and I was born in November of that year and christened Augusta Anna Hamas. Call me Annie. Well, around this same time, the logging industry was really beginning to take off in Wisconsin, and just about everything from barrels to boats could be made from wood. In northern Wisconsin, it was chock full of timber. Then in 1900, the Chicago and Northwestern Railroad extended their line north of Green Bay. Many people saw that as an opportunity to create a better life, and my dad was one of them. I guess I was about 9 years old. Dad had bought a huge tract of lumber up north of Wabeno and moved the whole family up into the wilderness there. It was us, the trees, the bears, the bobcats, wolves, likes of which I'd never seen before. Well, but he built us a really nice house and put in a sawmill, built a boarding house, blacksmith shop, put up a hotel, put in a school, and a post office. Why, I became postmistress at that post office in 1920. That's not all I did. I cooked for 100 or more men in that boarding house. I worked in the general store to help out, and I helped to raise two of my nieces who'd lost their mother. My father, John Hamas, is the founder of the rip-roaring logging town called P-A-D-U-S, Patus, Wisconsin. Men came from every state in the Union to work there. Well, I was born just as fair and feminine as any woman, but being around all those lumbermen, that made me as tough as nails. You had to be tough in those days. I had to stand up to those men and put them in their place. Learned some awful colorful language from them, though. Why, I could outcuss any man. It's also been said that a good tongue lashing from me could melt snow, curl your hair, and get the most rugged of men just shaking in his boots. I was fiercely independent, too. Never wanted to get married. No man was about to tell me what to do. There was a time a gentleman friend got on the train and came up from Green Bay, and he had intentions of he wanted to marry me. Well, he got off the train, he walked into the general store, heard me turning the air in there just as blue as can be with my colorful language. Without a word, turned on his heels, jumped back on the train, never saw or heard from him again. Just fine for me. Well, it was 1906 when I lost my mother, and my dad passed in 1928. And by 1928, those woods had pretty much run out. Post office closed in 1930. And after that, a lot of people moved on. And pretty soon, Patus was pretty much, almost abandoned. No one left. Well, except for me, my loaded shotgun, and my dogs. Well, I lived there alone for a long time, and for a lot of that, I was the only person there. Well, word kind of spread that Patus was a ghost town, and then we had people coming in, and they were trespassing and ransacking the place and stealing. Well, you can bet they didn't stay for long once they saw me coming. Well, I stayed in Patus until 1964. My main interest was the preservation of my homestead. By 1964, it was becoming too difficult for me to stay living there alone, and I had to go into a nursing home. I think that just crushed the spirit right out of me because I died in that nursing home the following year. Unlike a lot of old logging towns, though, most of them disappear and without a trace, but I left behind my home and a whole block of fairly well-preserved buildings. Well, after I died, the Hamas heirs sold all those properties. There were 8 city lots and 3 40-acre sections, and they sold that to the local historical society there. And within the local historical society, a foundation was formed, and their intention was to raise enough money to restore Paytas, to make it a place where people could come and visit and see what the old logging towns were like and learn about the robust people that sustained them. Unfortunately, that foundation was never able to raise enough funds, and after time, those buildings just crumbled to the ground. There is no Paytas left anymore. But if you take a drive north of Green Bay and head to Wabeno, just north of Wabeno, you're going to find a road named Paytas, and it connects to a street named Hamas. Stand there and you'll be right where Paytas used to be. Now, unlike a lot of old logging towns that disappear from map and memory, Paytas is very unique. It stands out. And the reason it's unique is that there's a comprehensive photo collection of it. Now, I think that is pretty god dang special. Up at the old Wabeno Museum, you'll find a lot of my old furnishings and belongings, utensils, tools from Paytas. Luckily, a lot of things were saved, and you can see those things in the museum today. I'm very proud to have been one of the very last surviving pioneers of the old Wisconsin logging days, and I'm especially proud to have the dubious honor of being the very last resident of Paytas.